Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom, and I'm here to do a video about Team Cobra-la. And I just kind of wanted to do a video. I know I did a quick look, and this is so far just my Cobra-la team. And I will actually show you the ones that are actually from Cobra-la. This is Globulus. He had an eye patch that was very, I don't know what to say it was. It just made his eye real big and looked kind of funny, and he got it poked out actually by Lieutenant Falcon in the movie. And I've changed him, and I gave him a regular arm. I do have his green arm yet, but I haven't put it back on yet. And I gave him the Demon Tank from the Iron Grenadiers, the cats, and the waist piece from the, I think they're called ferrets. And I think that looks actually pretty good on him. I don't have the tail. I bought this as an eBay item, and just parts, and he was in there. But that is his right arm, his head, and his chest, but not the waist piece. It was a big tail. I don't have the big tail, and it's actually kind of cumbersome. I would like it, but it is kind of cumbersome. And I gave him the weapon. That Boosh from Star Wars came with. Just kind of looks kind of cool with him, I thought. So, there you go. Second is the actual Cobra-la Royal Guard. And he's kind of got this same kind of red shell armor that kind of has this big pads and, you know, armor looking things and big elbow pads that, you know, help him fight. And he's got big bug eyes, it looks like, and kind of actually a bug snout nose thing. And I don't actually have it, but he does come, oddly, with a microphone for some reason. Not sure why. And he came with an axe, but I don't have the axe, so I gave him this big machine gun. Next, we have, well, I knew him as a kid as Nemesis Enforcer, but they call him Nemesis Immortal. And it is Nemesis Immortal from this comic book. And it was in a 2-pack with, here we go, Lieutenant Falcon. And here's the comic book, A Real American Hero. And it is a real nice issue, and it is published by Fun Publications. And there you go. And that's a real nice comic book. I really enjoy this one. And Falcon has to fight Nemesis Immortal, and he's, you know, and he's not Nemesis Enforcer. He's immortal, but he was Nemesis Immortal, or Nemesis Enforcer as I was a kid. And so, and he came with this accessory that you're supposed to kind of throw on Lieutenant Falcon and make it look like you captured him, and he's, you know, he kind of pretend that you gotta throw it at him, and he kind of catches it, and it like throws him down and kind of does this. But I wouldn't do this too much. It's probably not real good for the squid arm thing, and it's probably not too good to press down too much, because it is actually on a back peg. And that back peg is pretty thick and pretty sturdy, but I wouldn't put any unnecessary pressure on it. And it goes right into his back hole. He does come with bat wings, a real nice sculpt that comes like this. And on the back here, you put the wings in, and those were really hard to put in. And there are the big wings here. And there is a peg. And you just put that in the back of Nemesis Immortal. I don't have it in because on the stand I'm having a hard enough time keeping him up. And on his stand, as it is. And he's got some real nice claws. Arm claws that in the movie he like digs into a base that G.I. Joe has, and he uses these claws and he opens up the dome, and it has the BET in it and stuff. And he's got some real big knee spikes here, and a real mean kind of looking face. He's supposed to be the bad guy. The one action figure I don't have is Pythona, so I'm interested in getting that one. Next I have is the Cobra Emperor Serpentor. Now he's Cobra, and mine is in really bad shape. His fangs are missing. I'm missing the hood. Mine has glue on there on his legs, and his cape is really ripped up. And if anybody's got a good cape, that's a miracle, because this thing is so see-through. It's so light that you can use it to see through things. And it rips so easily. So I'm very careful with this one. I do want to get a new one in the future, but that's in the future and not now. So that's Serpentor. He's cool. He's got the gold on him, and he looks real leaderish. Not a lot of people like him, but I like him. Next, I have two identical guys that are sea slugs. And they're Cobra too, and they flew the manta ray. But I'll show you in a minute what I usually put them in. Well, in a few minutes here. And he's got red decorative things on his helmet, on a purple helmet. It's pretty nice. A red visor. I'm guessing that's visor. Maybe goggles. I'm guessing that that's not what holds the goggles on or the visor on, is that red piece. Could be. Never thought of that until now, actually. That could be the piece that holds the goggles on. That's kind of cool. He's got big elbow pads here. Or, I'm sorry, shoulder pads. And a real nice, I hope that's coming through. And it's the manta ray sticker. It's not a sticker, it's a tempo. It's a painted detail in silver. And I've seen hundreds of these on eBay. Most of them don't even have the silver anymore on it. I paid a little extra, but I got good ones here. And he's got a nice belt with some pouches and stuff. I gave him this backpack that actually belonged to the Baroness, but I thought it looked kind of cool on him. And I'm guessing that these things here on his legs and like up there on his thigh are diving weights, because he's got a diver's submarine and flying machine. I'm only guessing because I don't know. So, and here's the other one. The exact same. I just gave him a different weapon. I gave him that Falcon's weapon. And then here we go. I have the Saw Viper, and he is a really cool looking guy. He's got this red visor and a really cool backpack that's supposed to have the tube. I didn't put the tube in just because it's cumbersome. It goes around. I can show you in a minute. It does, or not the tube, the ammo belt. I'm sorry. But he's got cool red helmet, kind of a maroon purplish helmet, and a very fancy backpack, and a black shirt with a green buckle and some purple, kind of a pinkish purple vest on him. It looks like it's maybe, I'm not sure, padded. Guessing he's a machine gunist, so he's probably laying, shooting his machine gun. And he's got these, well, what pilots usually use them, I think, it's to keep the circulation in his legs when they're doing high gravity maneuvers. And I'm not sure why he'd be wearing those, but maybe if you're sitting in the cold, or if you're sitting in a mountainside and you're waiting for somebody, your legs could possibly need this to keep circulation. I'm not exactly sure. And the next accessory here he's got is a big, huge, this is actually his accessory. It's this huge, huge machine gun. And it's got a nice scope and a bipod that I've actually kept. But these are then very easy, it does move and it does come off. It's very easy to lose. And here's what you're supposed to do with the backpack. You're supposed to clip this into his backpack, and then you're supposed to feed the ammo belt. I'm having actual difficulty even getting it on there, but you're supposed to clip it to the gun on the side here, and that's supposed to run to the backpack, and it's supposed to look like the machine gun bullets are being fed through there, but it doesn't actually fit in there very well, and I have trouble getting it in there. And to be honest, I don't know why. I mean, this doesn't look like it's a backpack that's even feeding any kind of machine gun ammunition into it. So, but that's his accessory there. And the next one I got here is a Techno Viper with I think I said in the last video with the Dreadnoks that this gun is from the Techno Viper, but I actually come to find out that this is the wrong gun that came with this guy. This is from a Toxo Viper. I had a mistake when I got this, that I thought that this was his gun, but that's okay. A gun is a gun for me right now. He's, not all that important if he's got the right or wrong gun for the moment. And he's got a very purple color, which I know is, for many, is very off-putting. Why is Cobra soldiers being purple? But I like it. So it's kind of nice directional change. And since they were going into Cobra-la, it was probably supposed to match up with kind of new purpley color scheme, but Cobra-la didn't plan out, and the show got canceled after that. And most of these guys only made the Sea Slugs that I had only made comic book appearances, and that's it. So, but he's got some cool technical detail, some tubing, that strap, maybe. He's got a backpack with a bunch of technical stuff that he carries around to fix things, so that might be straps for that. And it kind of goes into the back there. So possibly that, maybe not. But he's got some real nice silver details and gun, and he's a cool looking figure with a cool looking mask, and I just think he looks cool, and long black boots. Next is the 50th anniversary Saw Viper. And instead of that cool green visor, it's got a kind of a yellowish gold helmet with a microphone. It is removable to show a black mask. Here's his big machine gun with an ammo belt like his old one. The bullets are much cooler in this newish one. And he's got another machine gun, kind of a Tommy gun loaded drum here. And he's got knives and binoculars there. And you're able to take out the knife, but the binoculars I don't believe have moved. He's got a knife in his back here. And pouches for ammunition. So he looks really cool in knee pads. See, the knee pads make more sense for you're sitting and you're shooting your machine gun than these burgundy flight suit looking things. Not sure what those are for. They look cool, but that's unsure what that is. And here's the Saw Viper's ammunition belt. You can see there's kind of bullet details in there. It's probably not picking up in my camera. But this 50th anniversary, which has bullets and ammo and all that kind of stuff, all realistic and looks very nice and has better articulation. Not sure if I like the newer versions better. Some I do, some I don't. And next we have Dr. Mindbender with his big mustache and his monocle, bald head, and he's got one regular eye. Monocles are for fixing if you only have a problem with one eye. And a really, really cool cobra symbol on his cape. And I think that looks really awesome. And he's one of the first ones that I can think of that had this purple color. And he had this silver detail on it, on his gloves. I know it's probably not coming out very good, but and he's got some silver straps here, suspenders, and I would take the, because he's got detail on the back, but I'm hesitant to take off the cloth cape because much like my Serpentro, I'm afraid that if I mess with it too much, I'm going to rip it. And it's a real felty, probably, well, I know not even probably, I'm sure it's much tougher, but maybe if I go like this, you can see. The straps kind of go on the back, and he's got a cool cobra symbol on the back and stuff. But I'm very leery about taking his cape off because I'm afraid that I'm going to rip it. And he comes with a gun, although this isn't his gun, but it came with it when I got it. So that's not the actual gun that comes with it. Next is a Snow Serpent, version 2. And I gave him this little gun here. It's just to have him hold something. And he's got that purple mask and red visor, which I thought kind of went pretty well. That's kind of why I put him in with the Cobra-la group. Purple is obviously not the same. This is a lighter purple. That's a much darker purple. But the reds and kind of the reddish color of the Saw Viper, I thought kind of all went a little bit together, not really overly, but their base was also, when they had in the movie, was in the Himalayas, and they had it in a snowy mountain, and he has a knife, a gun, and very nice fur lining on his gloves, on his chest and back, on his helmet, even on his boots, with little cobra things in there, and brown. And while I don't think that he should have maybe come with this bright yellow fur, I think maybe a gray probably would have looked better for him. I do think that the fur looks really nice. And if you're out fighting in the snow and charging up, he probably could conceal himself somewhat in a kind of mountainy territory. It's kind of tough why they picked yellow, but it's not too overly bad. And if you have him skiing in the mountains, I suppose you wouldn't pick it up too easily. I'm not really sure. And next we have one that's not even a G.I. Joe at all. This is the Dungeons & Dragons War Duke. And he comes with a cool spiked horned helmet with what looks like, well, I'm not sure what that is. A jewel maybe or so, ruby or something. But he's got monstrous black skin and red glowing eyes. Well, they don't glow, but red glowing eyes. If you were to see him in the dark, his eyes would probably glow. It's not actually in the cartoon at all. There was a cartoon in the 80s, but he, sorry about that, I kind of moved because I was sitting uncomfortably. In the cartoon, they had a different villain named Venger, so I'm not really sure why this one got an action figure, but Venger didn't. I'm not really sure. But he does kind of look like the Conan from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Even got a necklace. It's very difficult to see, but it's got a necklace like his and a teeth on the necklace. And he's wearing kind of this loincloth thing and an armband. And he's got this cool skull on his, I'm not sure what you'd call that actually, waist piece here. And his legs have one, it looks like horse riding boots that if you put all the way to the top, you probably cover his knee. And a silver one with spikes, and glove with silver on it. And I gave him, because I don't know what actual weapon he came with. I don't have that. But I gave him the Gamorrean guard from the Power of the Force axe, which I think looks really cool. And he did have an action feature that, well, works a little bit. Supposed to pull the thing down, and his arm goes up, and it works a little bit. Kind of a weird thing, but okay. And I think he kind of goes with it because Cobra-la was supposed to be like this half-man, half-beast kind of society, using only animals to, you know, they use these big crab-like things to open doors and only used shells as armor and stuff. So I think he fits good because he's got blue lizard scale, or maybe you can say dragon scale or whatever that is, arms, kind of making him not quite half man, half monster, but he's got that on his legs too, this all around scale, blue scales. And he's just, I think he looks really cool. And I think he's a good fit for Cobra-la. Now, here is the Technodrome for the Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows movie. And I consider this their base. Even though this is a Turtles toy, the scaling is just terrible because the Turtles fit, but not very well. And I don't like it for their base. The Turtles don't really fit in here, and they're just, I don't know. I don't know why I kind of realized that they have this size, because their action figures are much, much bigger than the G.I. Joes, but if you made it to scale, it'd be so huge. But here's my Turtles base. And I use this as their command center. And there's some there isn't any real detail in there that you can really even see. And there's detail around it, but I always put my sea slugs in there. Sea slugs are supposed to kind of be the ones in control of this base here. Oops, sorry about that, the lighting kind of got screwed up here. And here's the bridge, sort of. It's kind of how I usually display it. You see the sea slugs there. They're kind of in this recessed area where they sit. I pretend that that's kind of their command central, where they're working on computers and doing stuff. Dr. Mindbender here, you know, is crafting his plans, and there's Globulus, and they're sitting on the deck, kind of. And he's got a Royal Guardsman there who's kind of by the guns here. And they're doing stuff, and I always have them just kind of running the operations, and Globulus is there to kind of tell them, okay, you know, we got to do X, Y, and Z. Dr. Mindbender's there to kind of do his crazy experiments. I'll show you what I normally do, and I'll show you kind of something that kind of came to my mind that I always kind of liked. And here's something that they have on this thing, and it's actually a base. Or on the base, I'm sorry, it's this jail. But I pretended that they put Globulus inside the machine here, and sorry for the bad lighting, they close it up, and then all the tubing and stuff goes in there, and Dr. Mindbender's kind of testing this out, and it's being kind of guarded by him, and all of a sudden, ding, you know, the time comes up, and their thing comes out, and now, instead of being a broken leg or a broken-tailed thing, he's got legs and a new arm, a fixed arm. So that's what I always pretend that happened. That's why he's got legs and a new arm. But now, what I always think of is that they're at war not only with G.I. Joe, but they're at war with Cobra. And so I pretended that the origins for a couple of characters, one real and one made up, were regular soldiers here, Cobra soldiers. And these Cobra soldiers, oops, sorry about that, got stuck in there. You know, and you got these regular red-faced Cobra soldiers. These are the 25th anniversaries. But put them in there and close the door, and obviously nothing is actually happening. I mean, that, you know, it's just me putting stuff in there. But then I pretend that what happens is you put a couple of Cobra soldiers in there, and Dr. Mindbender, doing his nefarious things, creates 2 new soldiers. And this is what happens. That's how I pretend that they got Globulus. And here are the characters that I pretend that they made. Here's Big Boa. He's got his breathing tube. His, I don't know what that is. This, spikes. Cool details here. Some metal straps. Spikes on them. Big black boots. With red coverings, or red boots with black coverings, I'm not really sure. Blue pants. With this breathing tube. And he's got this breathing tube that I really like. I don't know why I like so much, but I just do. And I think that this thing on the side, nothing is ever mentioned of it. But you see, he's got this visor and this breathing thing, so I think that he goes to his helmet. And they don't have very good articulation for this. But he like turns up the helmet and it visor or breathing tube or whatever you need it to be. And he's supposed to be a boxer, but what of this says anything about boxers? So I pretend that the helmet kind of came on top of him and gave him big muscles, and they kind of made him into a super strong, super soldier kind of like thing, where he's got big muscles and he leads the troops into battle. And this is Big Boa, and this is the character that I created that is known as Constrictor. So it's Boa and Boa Constrictor. And he's got the same Big Boa helmet. It's very difficult to see with the light that I've got. But the helmet is actually, I wouldn't say a variant, but one is a little darker than the other. It's probably not coming out very well. But it's the exact, it's the Big Boa head, the visor, and the breathing mask. But I don't have another tube. That's just an accessory I wanted to buy, but I can't find somebody just selling a Big Boa tube. I did find one. That's how I got the one accessory that I had, but he didn't have a second one. And he's got a ferrets from the Demon Tank top, black sleeves, the gold and the red that had the colors of a Iron Grenadier. Straps in the back. Looks pretty cool. Looks real cool. And this my daughter painted. And it has kind of red straps. And if you kind of go like this with the red, kind of looks like it continues to the belt and it kind of goes around. And purple waist piece. And then this is the exact same as, oops, sorry about that. As you can see, I'm kind of not very good at this yet. But it's the exact same pants. Not the same waist piece, but the same pants as the Techno Viper. Same boots, everything, same bottom piece. Same gun, same strap, the boots. But this is, again, one I bought on eBay, just parts, and it came with the Big Boa body. All the pieces, all I had to do was put them together. But it had an extra Big Boa head, ferret's body, these extra legs and stuff. So I just put it all together, and the black boots, and the red piece here, and the kind of painted it purple here. Up close, you can tell that the two are very different colored. This is a darker, and that's a lighter. But when you've got them standing next to, or kind of far away, you can't even tell that the waist piece is any different, really. But that's my team here, and I say that Cobra-la made these guys. They were never animated. They were in only one comic that I know of, and it's Battle issue number 3, I believe, where it just kind of describes Big Boa's character and how he's a boxer and how he trains the team and stuff. And that's all fine, I guess, but I always think of him, and I don't have one, but I always think of him as the Viper leader. The Vipers have, real blue and reds and stuff. So I think of him as their leader. And I think he looks pretty cool. And I think, even though he's supposed to be Cobra-la, if there is a civil war and Cobra-la has to fight Cobra and stuff like that, there's going to be some who pick different sides and stuff. Now, my daughter said one time that she thinks that this looks actually pretty good together. Got the gray missiles, the kind of grayish and red color that kind of goes with the Cobra-la Royal Guard. And even the colors kind of are actually pretty close. So I think she's kind of right that it kind of looks good. And there's yellow. And if I turn it right here, it's very difficult, but there is a yellow patch symbol, not sure, and he's even got the kind of bright yellow on his arms and his legs, so it does look like he kind of goes, and I think that's pretty cool. Granted, I don't know why Cobra-la would need a spaceship, but oh well, here we are. And here's Cobra-la as I usually have it. I have it on the shelf. And there's Warduke, Cobra, Emperor back there, and he's sitting, lounging around, and Nemesis Enforcer, you can see him there, is guarding him and protecting him, and he's just lounging around. And there's the guard, and he's, doing his job, protecting, and I'm putting Globulus in the command turret here, or the command post here, and letting him kind of do his leadership thing there. But here's the vehicle that I usually use for the Cobra-la army. This is not anything official, obviously. But this is the Hammerhead. And if I'd open it up the right way. Well, Decimator's in there, it's kind of hard to open. But in this, I usually put my Techno Viper, give the green, kind of a little extra color with the, sometimes these guys don't want to fit in there. Put them in there. Maybe now it'll fit better. Yeah, much better. And I have Major Blood on the other side. I just have 2 Major Bloods, so I figured I'll just put them in there. So, and then in the front seat, I always put, they're already drivers, so I always put my Sea Slugs in there as the drivers, and they fit in there real nicely. And I don't have the clips. If I had the clips, that would be so much better, but I don't have the clips. But for right now, I don't take them off of there anyway. But one Saw Viper